Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're tackling a problem that's incredibly frustrating for a lot of Mopar owners. And make sure you watch until the end, because I'll reveal exactly how much this fix could cost you. Picture this. You've just spent a significant amount of money to get a new Mopar replacement engine dropped into your beloved Jeep or Chrysler. You're excited to have your ride back running like new. But then, you notice it. The temperature gauge starts creeping up higher than usual, especially in traffic. Maybe you catch a faint, sweet smell of coolant after you park. If you've ever dealt with a Jeep or Chrysler running hot after an engine swap, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a maddening situation. But don't panic. We're going to dive deep into what's really going on, why it happens, and most importantly, how to fix it for good. Alright, let's get right into it. So, you're online, desperately searching for answers, and you might have seen an NHTSA entry about engine overheating or mysterious coolant leaks that only appear after a replacement engine has been installed. Maybe you've even stumbled upon the specific NHTSA ID 102-21594, or heard someone on a forum mention a TSB. It's easy to get confused and think this is some kind of official recall. So what's really going on here? Let's clear up the confusion. First off, this is not a safety recall. A recall is a mandatory action issued by a manufacturer or NHTSA to fix a safety-related defect. This isn't that. And despite what you might hear, it's not a classic step-by-step technical service bulletin or TSB either. A TSB is typically a detailed guide for technicians on how to perform a specific repair for a known common problem. What this actually is a manufacturer communication, specifically an FCA STAR note from July 2021. STAR stands for Service Technical Assistance Resource. Think of it as a technical tip sheet sent out to dealership service departments. It's a heads up from the engineers back at corporate. Its purpose is to help technicians diagnose a pattern of issues they're seeing in the field. But, and this is a critical point, it does not authorize any specific repairs or automatically approve warranty fixes. It's a guide, not a blank check. So what does the STAR note say? It confirms that after installing a Mopar replacement engine, some vehicles may exhibit symptoms like running hot, leaking coolant from various places, or in the worst cases, severely overheating. The note then gives technicians a primary diagnostic step. Before anything else, techs are told to locate and check the heat tabs on the cylinder heads. These little things are the engine's secret truth tellers. A heat tab is a simple, brilliant device. If the tab is white, it means the cylinder head has stayed within its normal operating temperature range. All good. If the center of the tab has melted and turned pink, it indicates the head has reached approximately 255 degrees Fahrenheit. This is the danger zone. And if it's red, that means the temperature has soared well over 255 degrees. At this point, there's a very high probability of warped cylinder heads and subsequent coolant leaks from a failed head gasket. So, if the heat tabs are white, but the car is still running hot, dealers are instructed to handle it with old-school, fundamental diagnostics. The STAR note is essentially telling them, don't assume the new engine is bad, go back to basics. First and foremost, check for trapped air in the cooling system. After an engine swap, it's extremely common for air pockets to get trapped. Air doesn't transfer heat like coolant does, so an air pocket sitting against a cylinder head can create a dangerous hotspot, causing the temperature to spike even if the rest of the system is full. Then, they inspect for tiny, hard-to-find leaks, especially around the coolant reservoir or any hoses that were disconnected. A minuscule leak might not leave a puddle, but as the engine cools, it can suck air back into the system, reintroducing the very problem you're trying to solve. They'll double-check all hoses and fittings to ensure they were properly reinstalled and tightened. Sometimes it's as simple as a clamp that wasn't perfectly seated. Next up, the basics. Check the radiator cap. This cap is more than just a lid, it's a pressure valve. It's designed to hold a specific amount of pressure in the system, which raises the boiling point of the coolant. A weak or faulty cap can cause the coolant to boil at a lower temperature, leading to overheating. Then, they'll verify the thermostat's orientation and operation. Is it installed correctly? Is it opening at the right temperature? A thermostat that's stuck closed will prevent coolant from circulating to the radiator, causing a rapid overheat. They'll also check the water pump. While it's often new with the engine, they'll ensure it's functioning correctly and not leaking from its weep hole. And finally, the electric cooling fan. They need to verify the entire fan control circuit. Is the temperature sensor sending the right signal? Is the relay working? Is the fan motor itself operational? A fan that fails to turn on in traffic is a guaranteed recipe for overheating. Now, if those heat tabs are red, the diagnostic path changes. Techs will immediately check for warped cylinder heads or blown head gaskets. A blown gasket can allow high-pressure combustion gases to enter the cooling system or let coolant mix with the engine oil, creating that dreaded milkshake sludge that destroys bearings. This is why you can't ignore an overheating engine. Repeated overheating, even if it doesn't seem severe, can cause this kind of major catastrophic damage. This is also why FCA guidance tells dealers to inspect those heat tabs first when handling any related warranty claims. It's their way of determining if the failure was caused by a manufacturing defect or by an external issue like a leak that led to a severe overheat event. The tab helps them verify that an overheat event occurred, which can sometimes affect how the repair is covered. But again, the star note itself does not prescribe a specific repair. It just points technicians in the right direction. Find the root cause, don't just blame the new engine. And what's fascinating is that owners online, in forums and social media groups, consistently report the same root causes that the star note hints at. Stubborn air pockets that require a special bleeding procedure, tiny, almost invisible leaks from reservoir seams or hose fittings, or fan control problems, like a faulty relay or a bad connection. The vast majority of these issues are not with the new engine block itself, but with the ancillary parts and the installation process. But if you ignore those early warning signs and keep driving it while it's running hot, you absolutely risk cooking the engine and causing warped heads and busted gaskets. And that's when the repair bills get expensive, fast. So let's talk numbers. How much might this all cost if your warranty doesn't cover it, and you have to take it into a shop? For the simple common stuff, like properly bleeding the cooling system to remove trapped air, or finding and fixing a small leak from a loose clamp, you're likely looking at about $100 to $300 at most independent shops. This is mostly 1 to 2 hours of labor plus the cost of new coolant. This price range typically covers the most common post-swap issues like trapped air or a minor fitting repair. It's an annoying expense, but manageable. But if you've let it overheat badly and you need a head gasket replacement, or the cylinder head itself needs to be sent to a machine shop for repair, that cost can skyrocket to $1,500, $2,500, or even more depending on the extent of the damage. That major repair involves significant labor for engine teardown and reassembly, machining costs for the heads, plus expensive parts like the gasket set and new head bolts. The costs add up incredibly fast. The takeaway here is to be vigilant. Keep a close eye on your temp gauge after any major engine work, and insist on a thorough double check of the entire cooling system after an engine swap. A quick, careful post-swap inspection can literally save you from thousands of dollars in repair bills down the road. So let's recap. This NHTSA entry points to an FCA star diagnostic note, which is not a recall or a repair TSB. It's a diagnostic aid for dealers, telling them to inspect the heat tabs first, then hunt for the root cause of the overheat using basic principles, before assuming the new engine is faulty. Owners and technicians most commonly find issues with air pockets, small leaks, or fan control problems. But remember, persistent overheating, no matter the cause, risks severe head and gasket damage. And as for the cost, quick fixes for leaks or air pockets are relatively cheap, but major headwork is very costly. If you made it this far, thank you. Here's the bottom line cost estimate one more time, clear as day. Here's what you should budget for. For bleeding the system, replacing a faulty radiator cap, or fixing a small leak, you should expect to pay roughly $100 to $300. However, if you need head gasket work or cylinder head repair due to severe overheating, expect a bill in the range of $1,500 to $2,500 and potentially more depending on the severity. The moral of the story is to catch these issues early. Being proactive can save you thousands. My quick tips for you: if you're having issues, mention the heat tabs to your mechanic, especially in warranty cases. Ask them to specifically check for trapped air, tiny leaks with a pressure test, and to verify the fan control system is working perfectly. If you're at all uncertain, have a dealer or a trusted independent shop perform a complete cooling system diagnostic. It's money well spent. I really hope this detailed breakdown helped clear things up for you. If it did, do me a huge favor and hit that like button, comment with your questions or your own experiences, and subscribe for more practical car tips. Like the video if it helped you out, and please, leave a comment with your car's year and model or your specific question. I try to read them all. And of course, subscribe for more deep dives like this one. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there, and always check your temps after a major swap. It pays to be paranoid.